When people try to start drama, or as a lot of people say, beef with y'all, you have to understand is that we're in this world, right, to where you're going to encounter some people throughout your life, whether it's in school, work, in your neighborhood, at the park, on the street, wherever, that's going to try to start drama with y'all. It's a very common topic that a lot of people, they sometimes talk about, but they discuss in different manners. You probably go on the street, you might have somebody bump into you on purpose without saying excuse me. You go on the street, you just be a person with minding your business. You're not even bothering nobody. You might look up, you might see another guy mean mugging you, just staring you down, and you even know him from a hole in the wall. You might be a woman to where you on the street, you're just chilling, you're not even bothering nobody. You might have some other girls that might comment on your appearance right in front of you. That might comment on your appearance and say all these nasty comments about you. Or they might try to stare you down. Or might try to bump into you on purpose. Understand this, y'all, is that when people try to start problems with you, always understand this, is that you do not need to give them your energy back. Because they're looking for a reaction. They're looking for you to engage with them. Because always understand this, y'all. They're wanting your energy. They're wanting your emotions invested in them. Remember, they're the ones starting problems with you. So, they're trying to get you to do it right back to them, to try to get into an issue with them. Then, you get into the issue, now you all both going back and forth. And you see, this is how a lot of problems such as gangs war start. You got one person from a certain gang, they get into another person for another gang. They clash, they get into a head-to-head. Next thing you know, it's a whole revolving door of gang violence. You see, y'all, you have to understand is that I'm not saying that you can't defend yourself. Of course, if someone puts hands on you or they physically assault you, you can defend yourself. But now, we're living in an age now to where you got a lot of people to where they're dealing with people who are verbally going at them. They're dealing with people who are staring them down. And they're dealing with people who are going to bump into them on purpose. What you have to understand is that you got people who love drama. And people who love drama, what you need to do is, do not give it to them back. You see somebody staring you down, you know what that's happened to me. I'm pretty sure it's happened to many of you. You see somebody, for example, staring you down, you know what you do? What I do personally, I just keep my head straight. I got my head up, I walk right by them. I don't walk with my head down to make it look like, oh, they somehow intimidated me, they somehow scared me. No. I walk right by them. With my head up, I'm looking ahead. I'm not even staring back at them. I'm looking ahead, but I can still kind of see them in my peripheral vision in case they try anything. I'm looking ahead, and I walk right by them because, understand this, they need your energy. They're trying to start problems with you. You are not trying to do nothing to them. You even know them. So that shows that they're more invested in you than you are in them. And you don't need to give them your energy. Because understand this, y'all, when you're a working man, when you're a working woman, you have goals in life. And when you have goals in life, you don't have no time to be getting involved in petty drama. You see somebody staring you down? Like I said, me, I walk right by him with my head up. I even look at them. I just walk right by with my head up. I go about my business. And sometimes it makes them even more upset. And you know why? Because sometimes they're so used to people playing into their mind games and playing into their stuff. But we don't give them the time of day. They realize what they did made themselves look silly. They realize what they did a lot of times. They didn't even make sense. Because you got a lot of grown adults who act like children. Grown adults who want to mean mug people like they still in 5th grade. I don't give them my energy. You know why? Because I'm a man, I got goals. You see, when you got goals and dreams, you ain't got no time for petty drama. You ain't got no time for petty conflict. You out here, you following God. You trying to start that business. You trying to be an entrepreneur. You trying to go work, make some money. You trying to pay your bills. You got kids. You trying to take care of your family. You ain't got no time to be involved with no petty drama. So when people start problems, you ain't even got to get into it. You ain't even got to give them your time. They try to walk into you. They try to walk directly in your path even though you trying to go the other way. They trying to stare you down. You ain't even got to give into all of that. With a lot of these things, you just walk right by with your head up. And just go about your business because you got more important things to take care of. You got life. You got goals. You got a lot of people to where they play into these petty games. They play into these petty drama. They play into these petty issues. The next you know, they get into it with that person. And this is how you hear stories about people who was on the right track going to prison for 40 years. Or they end up going to jail for life. Or they end up losing their life because they got themselves involved and issues that could easily be avoided. You see, a lot of issues nowadays can easily be avoided. You see all these things in the news about parking spots, shootings, and all these things, and verbal disputes. Understand this. These things could easily be avoided. Like me, for example, I don't really get into it with people about parking. You know why? Because when it comes to parking, I'm not about to fight with you and go back and forth with you over a spot. You want the spot that bad, you go and have it. Because I'm not about to get into a 2-hour argument and we're just both sitting in our cars. One person goes go the other way and end it immediately. And number two, when it comes to issues like parking, I park my car all the way in the back. I try to park away from everybody. I try to park my car in the middle of the back. I try not to park around other cars. So God forbid there's an emergency, I need to run out, I'm clear. I won't be with the other 100 cars at the front all trying to get out at once. And not only that, but that's how issues like parking spot, disputes, and all these things, I don't really get into it. Like I said, I try to park away from everybody. You see all these petty conflict that goes on nowadays. Road rage shootings. People get into fist fights because somebody hit their car. All petty drama. Somebody hit your car, you could just call your insurance and just be done with it. Because then after the day, you fighting that person, it would make sense because they still hit your car. They still damage your car. You still got to get your car fixed. So you fighting with them don't change what happened. You can't reverse back time. Time don't wait. It keeps going. You know, so understand this, y'all. You do not get involved in petty drama. Cause I've seen this happen, especially with a lot of young people. A lot of young people, they going somewhere in life. You know, some of them will probably want to be athletes, entrepreneurs, the next business person, work a top Fortune 500 company, wherever, right? They had a lot of goals and dreams. Next thing you know, they get into this petty conflict with somebody. Next thing you know, somebody encourages them to go grab a weapon. You see this happen basically a lot of times in ghetto. They go grab a weapon, they go get into a fist fight with that person. Sometimes they get into a fist fight, they win, and the next person pulls out a gun, they done, they gone. All those dreams and goals, gone. They get, some person probably beats them, they go try to get revenge by go grab a knife for a gun. Next thing you know, they're sitting down in prison now. Serving 30, 40, 50 years. All those dreams and goals right down the drain. So understand this, when it comes to petty conflict, petty drama, you ain't gotta play into it. Like I said, 99.99% of problems in society could easily be avoided if one person just walked away. Do not listen to all these songs nowadays and entertainment that make it look like if you walk away, you somehow less than a man. No. A real man, a real powerful man knows that he don't have to get into every situation. He don't have to give his energy to every situation. You ain't gotta fight over everything. You ain't gotta fight someone over every word. You got people now that's ready to kill people over words. Somebody say something to you, you say your piece, you hold your corner, you go about your business. It ain't that deep, it ain't that serious. It ain't that serious to where y'all gotta go kill each other. One person gotta pull out a weapon. Seen that happen, people pulling out weapons over fist fights. Y'all got into it. Just go live your life. One person walk away, that's it. Y'all never have to see each other again. Y'all do live in the same household, so why risk going to prison or risk your life over petty drama? Y'all do live in the same household. You would never see a person probably again for the rest of your life. Especially if you're not even from that city, if you're on vacation or something. So why be into it over pettiness? It don't make sense, yo. You see me, I take my dreams to go serious. I take my relationship with God serious. That's why I'm getting into a petty drama. Like I said, I have people stare me down. People that try to walk into me. And all that. I have people that bump into me while saying, excuse me, guess what? They go their way, I go my way. I ain't got to get into no fist fight and all that. Then possibly mess up my record. I don't know if the next person got a gun or a knife in them. I'm not doing none of that. They go their way, I go my way. I'm gone. It ain't that serious, yo. There's certain things I could easily be walked away from. Like I said, I'm not saying if you can't defend yourself. Like somebody tries to punch you or physically assault you. You defend yourself for appropriate force. But you don't have to get into everybody over everything. Simple disputes, verbal disputes, arguments could easily just be done. Say your word, you go. People get into all this petty drama over nothing. People go in prison over petty drama. People go in prison over just because some girl cheated on him. A woman cheated on you, that just shows her true character. Leave. Go somewhere else. Follow the Most High God. He'll bless you with the righteous wife who will love it for you. He'll bless you with a Proverbs 31 wife. Some people get into fights with other men because the next man will try to talk to his girl. Listen, you can't build your wife everywhere. So she gotta be there to tell that guy, no, I have a husband, or whatever the case is. We promote husband in the channel because it's a Christian channel. We promote wife and husband. We don't do none of that boyfriend, girlfriend. But when you're not around, it's her duty to say, listen, I'm married to somebody, I cannot be with you. If your wife or whatever is cheating, then guess what? That just shows her true character. And you going to fight the other man don't even make sense, because sometimes these men don't even know that woman is married. And even if they know, it's still your wife's thing. It's still your wife's. It's just she starts to take accountability because she cheated on you as well. But you fighting that man don't even make sense, because you could both just leave them to be. Because she already did what she did. You can just go about your business. Understand this, y'all. Too much pettiness is done nowadays. Too much petty conflict and drama is being done in society that could easily be avoided. Too many people going to prison, losing their lives over stuff that don't even make sense. You ready to spend 50 years in a cell over something simple like a road rage incident? You ready to go shoot somebody just because they stepped in your shoes? You ready to go shoot somebody over a parking spot? You ready to re-spend life in prison without parole? People going to prison because they killing the next gang member. That even makes sense. Y'all both don't own the street. The government could come and take the street whenever they want, and they could all kick y'all out. And then there's so many cameras nowadays, so almost any crime you commit, there's a high possibility you're going to get caught. Especially if you're in a big city like New York, LA, a lot of the big cities, Houston, a lot of those major cities. There's so many cameras and so many police that it's so easy to get caught. So why even indulge in gang war? Because there's going to be a high chance you're going to get caught. You're going to get sentenced to a long time in prison, probably 50 years. After a few months, your friends, your homeboys, whatever, they're going to forget about you. And they're going to go about their business. While you stuck sitting in a cell for 50 years. Be smart, y'all. Please be smart. Because too much nonsense is going on in society. When people try to start petty conflict with me, I don't even give into it. Because they're looking for my energy. And guess what? With me being a child of God, I was recognized a lot of times that's the demons and evil spirits that's inside of them. Because people got evil spirits, they're not going to like you. They're not going to be pleased with you because you're a child of God. You got the light. You got the Holy Spirit inside of you. But you see me? I haven't given into it. You want to stare me down and do all that? That's fine. Because guess what? I'm going to walk past you, my head up, and go right back. Go right about my business. Go to my car, wherever I'm going. Because I ain't got to give into your energy. Because I got dreams. I got goals. I'm following the Most High God. You think I'm about to go to prison or mess up my record or risk my life getting into it? I don't know if you got a weapon or nothing. No. That's your issue. I know I'm minding my business. You stare me down. So you're the one with the issue. It ain't me. One thing about me, y'all, I never been ignorant. I don't want to be ignorant. Because ignorant people, don't get you nowhere. You got a lot of people to where they got that mentality to where I'll fight anybody. I'll start conflict with anybody. And that's so often end up in prison or the grave. Me? I'm trying to live a peaceful life. I know, y'all, that sometimes people come to you with drama and all that, but you ain't got to always give into it. A lot of times, people, you guys walk away. Because chances are you probably never see a person again for the rest of your life. So why even get it? Why even risk your life or go in prison over somebody to where the moment you walk away, you probably never see them again for the rest of your life? Almost everybody who I see who meet mug me and try to start stuff with me in high school and all that, guess what? They're not around me today. That stuff was years ago. They're not around me today. So imagine trying to start conflict or being two with people over that. It don't even make sense. It don't make sense. All of them people had any person that I tried meet me in high school and all that, guess what? They go their way, I'm gone my way now. It's been years, I ain't seen them since. Now imagine if I was the type of person to where I just got into it with them or try to pull out a weapon, I'd be in prison until this day for probably another 20 or 30 years. And for what? Y'all, please think. Please, because I see so many people go in prison and losing their lives early over nonsense. Petty drama, petty conflict could easily be avoided. A lot of time you could just walk away. If anything makes you, it don't make you less of a man, because a real man and real intelligent man knows not to put himself in certain situations. Knows that he got a lot of value to his name. Following God, businesses he trying to start. He trying to get that money, trying to buy a house for himself, trying to provide for his family. When you got those responsibilities, you ain't got no time to be in conflict because you got people dependent on you. Imagine that. You get into petty conflict with somebody, next thing you go in prison for 40 years. Who's going to raise your kids? Who's going to help take care of your wife? Imagine you get into somebody over a petty fist fight, and they pull out a gun or a knife. Over what? And now your kids are without their father, or your wife is without her husband. Y'all think ahead. When you got dreams and goals, you can't be getting into everybody, because remember, next person that you into it with, they probably don't have nothing to lose. They probably don't have nothing to lose, but you do. There was a song I heard by a rapper, I believe, called K Rhino, Something to Lose. That song was very, it's a very powerful message. When you got stuff to lose, you can't just be getting into it. You can't just be involved in petty conflict, because that person, they might not have nothing to lose. To them, they're just falling off of a sidewalk if they get in trouble. You might be just falling off of a mountain. They probably don't have kids and family and all that like you do. So they don't have nothing to really lose, but you do. So why risk your future? A real person knows they got a future for themselves and all that. They're not going to be getting into petty conflict. They're going to stay focused on the goal. They're going to stay focused on the task at hand. Be smart, y'all, and be wise. And may God bless y'all with wisdom.